Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Around the Water Cooler with Any DNR. Today it's me, Alexa.
And me, Devin. Hi.
And today we are talking to Jamie, who is going to be touching on some of the floodplain management's accomplishments in 2024. So Jamie, if you want to give an introduction of yourself and then take it away.
Hi, I am Jamie Ranke. I am the Division Manager for Floodplain Management here at NEDNR. And just to recap some of the great things that our team have accomplished this year. On the mapping side, we finished some of our oldest projects, which is a huge victory for us. So those projects will be moving into the regulatory phases, meaning people will eventually be getting new maps. But we do have 7 counties that got preliminary maps this year, which means they're one step closer to having new regulatory maps, and that's a really big deal. We're excited about that. Those counties are Thayer, Nuckolls, Kearney, Dixon, and then 2 community maps, Bridgeport and Bayard, and Boone County. So most of those were, half of them, I guess, were paper counties. So now they're going to have their first digital data. We initiated our first statewide 2D BLE project. So we're starting in the Republican, and in this fiscal year, we actually are just going through the award process right now to start working in the Niobraras. And that's an unmapped area in the state. So very excited to get some flood risk data to the communities up there. NFIP coordination side, we added 7 communities to the NFIP this year. So we're up to 432 participating communities, which is really exciting for us. I think when I started, we were at like 423, and we were there for a very long time. So now we have 191 communities that don't participate, but some of them are really small. Most of them are like 100 or less, and the smallest one is only 2. We have 8 CRS communities, which is up 2 from last year, so that's also exciting. For the first year that I've been at DNR, we had a growth in NFIP policies. It's only 0.7%, but we have been falling in policy counts ever since I've been here, so very excited that we must be doing something right. Either that or we had a lot of disasters, which is also true.
And the NFIP, for people that don't know that acronym, that is?
The National Flood Insurance Program. So we're the state coordinating office for the NFIP. So we're helping communities make sure that they're compliant, and also we help them with the enrollment process, and of course are encouraging people to have flood insurance so they are more resilient after a flood. So this year we did have our share of disasters. They were not all flood disasters, but floodplain management ordinances have to be enforced even if it's something non-flood related. So from April to July, our team communicated with 81 communities that had some sort of disaster impact this year. The NFIP team also has some new substantial damage tools for communities, so be on the lookout at our outreach events. We're hoping to take some of those tools out with us. We had our 2nd annual floodplain conference, and the 3rd annual is coming up in January, so please look out for that and sign up and come join us at the Fallbrook office, which is where we're hosting it this year. We were able to do community audits with 76 communities, and we closed 67. That's also a pretty big accomplishment for a small team. And we started an outreach campaign that we did a little GIS digging and learned that 4% of residences in mapped areas are in the floodplain. So we have a new outreach campaign called Are You in the 4%? That's part of our #NebraskaReady campaign. And we launched a new website so that people can kind of go to one spot and learn about flood insurance. They can get to our interactive maps, learn if they're in the floodplain and learn more about what that means, and make sure that they're ready in the case of a disaster, because our whole focus is that we want to be #NebraskaReady rather than #NebraskaStrong after an event. We continued updating NERF throughout the year. That's our real-time flood forecasting site that kind of combines everything into one site on the disaster side and has inundation maps. It has the high-vis cameras. So we're really excited to have that available, and we'll be adding some sites to that here in the coming year. And this year, to sum it all up, Nebraska qualified for $10 million in the Flood Mitigation Assistance Swift Current grant application. So we are working with communities to try and find some property owners that are interested in buyouts or elevations, people that have been impacted by events and want to get out. So more to come on that. Applications are due in January to us and February to FEMA. So Adele and company have been working really hard to get the message out and try and encourage participation in that program to help people be safer. So that's kind of our year in summary. That's a lot, and I talk really fast, but
I love that you said that's kind of your year in summary when there was so many things to talk about and so many accomplishments. And you have a fairly small sized team, but a lot of technical experts and technical expertise that are there. So if anyone is curious on anything that's happening or wants to connect with anybody, you know, for those community outreach or to look at, you know, any of the data, where can they go to find more information?
Well, you can start at the www.Nebraska.Ready.com, or you can go to DNR.Nebraska.gov/floodplain and get to all of our resources there. Of course, we are always willing to answer a phone call. Our group took over 1,000 phone calls in general technical assistance last year. So just get onto our contact page and reach out to anyone in Floodplain, and we would be happy to answer any questions.
So thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate your time, and I think break time's over.
Break time's over.